It's tough to stomach the price of a new car right now, with the average nearing $50,000. But if you buy a reliable car, your money goes a lot further. Consumer investigator Christine Lazar shows us which new cars really make the most financial sense.
It's the first couple of years that you lose the most money on a car.
Buying the cheapest car you can get that has the longest lifespan. Today's cars, we see them I see cars lasting 250,000 miles.
Meet Sarah. She was shopping for a used 2021 Honda CR-V on Carvana last month. The price jumped out at her, $24,900. 3 days later, she checked again. Same car, $22,100. She did not buy it. By the end of the week, it was $19,500. And then, it disappeared from the site entirely. Sarah was not imagining things. Carvana is dumping inventory at prices so low, they are essentially paying customers to take cars off their hands. Not because they want to, because they have to. Here is the number that explains everything: 416,000. That is how many cars Carvana moved last year. That is one car sold every 75 seconds, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And right now, they are moving more volume at lower prices than they have moved in years. But the margins are getting sliced thinner every single week. This is not a success story. It is a clearance event masquerading as a business model. And if you know where to look, you are about to get the deal of your life. But you have to move fast. What you are about to learn is how Carvana got here, which 9 car categories they are desperately unloading, and the exact checklist to identify the walking deals still sitting on their virtual lot right now. By the end of this video, you will understand why buying from Carvana over the next 60 days might be the single smartest used car decision you make this year. Let me start with the basics, because the story of Carvana's inventory problem is the story of how a company can stumble when they stop thinking like investors and start thinking like logistics. Carvana's entire model is built on one assumption: move fast, move volume, and make it back on the margins. When you are buying cars remotely, sight unseen, and selling them through a vending machine, you are not really in the car business anymore. You are in the cash flow business, and that works until it does not. During the pandemic, used car prices exploded. Every car was gold. Carvana, riding high on investor enthusiasm, loaded up inventory like they had never seen before. They paid top dollar for trade-ins, wholesaled bulk lots from rental companies, and snapped up leased vehicles before they hit the open market. The bet was simple: turn them fast, pocket the profit, and buy more. It worked for about 18 months. Then the market shifted. New cars came back in stock. Prices normalized. And suddenly Carvana was sitting on hundreds of millions of dollars worth of inventory that they had paid inflated pandemic prices for. And they still had to pay interest on every single car while it sat. Here is where the math gets brutal. Let's say Carvana paid $25,000 for a 2020 Toyota Camry during the pandemic rush. Market value today for that exact car is $16,500. Every day that car sits on the lot, Carvana is bleeding money. Not on the sale price alone, on the carrying cost. Dealer holding costs typically run $25 to $45 per day per vehicle. For a car sitting 120 days, that is $3,000 to $5,400 in pure carrying cost alone. Add that to the purchase price gap, and suddenly that $25,000 car is now $28,000 in the hole before it ever sells. So what do? You slash prices, and keep slashing, and keep slashing, until the car moves. Carvana reported in their 2024 earnings that they have offloaded 27% of their inventory. That is massive. They moved over 3 million vehicles in 2024. But they are not making money on all of them anymore. They are just trying to stop the bleeding. But here is what Carvana does not want you to focus on. They are dumping specific types of cars much more aggressively than others. 9 categories of vehicles are getting obliterated with price cuts. And if you are shopping for one of these, you have leverage. Carvana does not want you to know about. Category 1 is the compact sedan segment. Think 2019 to 2022. Honda Civics, Toyota Corollas, and Hyundai Elantras. These cars were pandemic purchases. Everyone bought them. Carvana loaded up on them. They were cheap, reliable, and easy to move. Now they are stuck. The average 2020 Honda Civic that Carvana paid $18,500 for is now priced at $13,900. That's a 25% haircut in real time. But Carvana is still buying them from wholesale auctions and trade-ins, hoping to move them at higher volume and lower individual loss. If you're in the market for a reliable commuter car, Carvana's compact sedan section right now is a buyer's dream. They are practically giving them away just to clear space. The economics are simple. Carvana would rather take a $4,600 loss on a 2020 Honda Civic than hold it for another 30 days and lose an additional $1,350 in carrying costs alone. That is the margin they are working with. The compact sedan market is also being pressured by the rise of used electric vehicles and by the fact that rental companies flooded auctions with millions of compact cars. Hertz and Enterprise dumped inventory at the bottom, creating a supply glut that will take Carvana 3 to 4 years to normalize. Every day Carvana sits on a 2020 Civic is a day they are not acquiring a 2021 or 2022 model that has more appeal. Category 2 is the mid-size SUV territory. This includes 2019 to 2021 Mazda CX-5s, Hyundai Tucsons, and Kia Sportages. These are cars Carvana really bet on. They thought SUV demand would stay hot forever. Spoiler alert, it did not. The CX-5 market is oversaturated. Carvana has them in every color, every trim, every mileage range, and they are not moving at the prices Carvana needs. Prices have dropped 20 to 28% in the last 8 months alone. A Carvana representative speaking anonymously told Automotive News that they were acquiring cars they knew they could not move at their target price, but the targets did not care. Carvana is now running loss leaders in this segment. Buy one, and they might make maybe $200. Let it sit, and they lose $3,000 per month. The math is brutal. A 2021 Mazda CX-5 that Carvana acquired for $22,500 during peak pricing is now worth $17,900 in the market. They are listing them at $18,400, which means they are eating a $4,100 loss before you factor in the carrying costs and the overhead. This is desperation pricing, plain and simple. Carvana's floor plan financing is also killing them on these mid-size SUVs. Floor plan interest typically runs 5 to 7% annually. That is roughly $93 to $131 per month in pure interest on a $22,500 vehicle. A mid-size SUV sitting 120 days is costing Carvana $933 to $1,310 in financing costs alone, on top of the $3,000 to $5,400 carrying cost. The math becomes impossible. They have to move these vehicles at any price. Category 3 is the full-size sedan market. 2018 to 2021, Toyota Camrys, Honda Accords, and Nissan Altimas. These were supposed to be steady movers. Nobody wants them. Sedan sales have collapsed. Carvana bought heavily, anticipating demand that never materialized. These cars are now priced to move at any cost. You're looking at $4,000 to $6,000 price cuts on the same vehicles Carvana acquired 2 years ago. A 2020 Toyota Camry that sold for $19,200 in 2023 is now listed at $13,800. That's a 28% markdown. Carvana's entire strategy around sedans has shifted. They used to position them as the reliable, affordable option. Now, they're just trying to move them faster than the depreciation curve is destroying them. Every week a sedan sits on their lot. It costs another $175 to $300 in pure carrying costs, bleeding out of Carvana's margin. The collapse of sedan demand is structural, not cyclical. Buyers have shifted to sport utility vehicles and crossovers, permanently. They are not coming back to sedans. Carvana is dealing with a category that will be depressed for years. They need to clear every sedan they can right now, because future demand is not there. Category 4 is compact crossovers. 2020 to 2022 Mazda CX-30s, Toyota Corolla Cross models, and Subaru Crosstrek variants. Carvana gambled that smaller sport utility vehicles would replace sedans as the go-to family car. They were right on the trend. They were wrong on the volume. The market is saturated with these. Carvana's inventory of CX-30s alone probably exceeds their annual sales target for the category by 40%, and those models are overstocked. They're slashing prices to create urgency. A 2021 Mazda CX-30 that was listing for $18,900 2 months ago is now $15,200. That's a 20% markdown in 8 weeks. That's the velocity of desperation. These vehicles are flying off Carvana's lot at liquidation prices because they have become a drain on cash flow. Category 5 is the hatchback category. 2019 to 2022, Honda Fits, Hyundai Venues, and Kia Niros. These are niche cars. Carvana bought them assuming diversity would help move volume. Instead, diversity created a warehouse full of slow-moving vehicles. These cars are getting hit with the heaviest discounts of all. A 2021 Honda Fit that Carvana listed at $17,800 6 months ago is now $12,900. That is a 28% cut in 6 months. These vehicles have become the inventory that haunts Carvana's quarterly reports. They are purchased at volume, they sit too long, and then they have to be liquidated at whatever price clears them. The vendor's cost basis does not matter anymore. Only velocity matters. Category 6 is the economy SUV fleet. 2018 to 2020, Chevy Equinoxes, GMC Terrains, and Ford Escapes. These were bargain purchases from fleet liquidations. Carvana scooped them up, thinking they would sell like water. They did not. Fleet cars have hidden wear and deferred maintenance, and buyers know it. Carvana has been holding these longer than any other segment. They are desperate to move them. A 2019 Chevy Equinox that Carvana acquired for $14,200 is now priced at $9,950. That is a $4,250 loss. But holding it costs money every single day. Carvana is doing the math. Lose $4,250 now, or lose $150 per week in carrying costs, indefinitely. They are choosing the immediate loss. Category 7 is the subcompact sedan inventory. Think from 2018 to 2021, Nissan Sentras, Hyundai Elantras, and Kia Fortes. These are the cars renters and fleet companies abandoned en masse. Carvana picked them up cheap at auctions and marked them up expecting strong margins. Instead, they are sitting. Margins are gone. These cars are now being liquidated at near wholesale prices. A 2020 Nissan Sentra that Carvana sourced for $9,800 is now listed at $7,400. They are taking a $2,400 hit just to move the inventory. Category 8 is the compact SUV overlap. From 2019 to 2021, Subaru Outbacks, Ford Edge models, and Dodge Journeys populate this group. These fill an awkward middle ground. Not quite a sedan, not quite a real SUV. Carvana bet on diversification, and it backfired. These cars are hemorrhaging value on Carvana's lot. Prices have dropped across the board. A 2020 Subaru Outback that was $22,100 is now $17,800. These vehicles are stuck in limbo because they do not fit neatly into buyer expectations. They are too expensive to be economy cars, and they are not prestigious enough to be premium vehicles. Carvana has too many of them and no clear buyer profile pulling them off the lot. Category 9 is the used electric vehicle segment, particularly older model year Teslas and Nissan Leafs from 2019 to 2021. When Carvana started acquiring electric vehicles aggressively, the EV market was red hot. Then prices collapsed. Battery anxiety hit the market. Carvana has been stuck with aging EV inventory that is worth significantly less than what they paid. These vehicles are being heavily discounted. A 2020 Tesla Model 3 that Carvana paid $35,000 for is now listed at $24,900. That is a $10,100 loss before carrying costs, financing costs, and overhead. The EV market moved faster than Carvana's inventory management could keep up with. But here is what Carvana management really fears. It is not just inventory, it is underwriting. Carvana's entire model depends on one thing: the ability to finance customers who can afford cars. When you are selling cars remotely, without physical showrooms, you need the financing to work. And right now, Carvana's financing arm is drowning. In 2023 and early 2024, Carvana loosened underwriting standards significantly. They had inventory to move. They needed volume. So they financed buyers they probably should not have financed. Buyers with a 580 credit score. Buyers with income-to-debt ratios that were already stretched. Buyers who needed to take on a $28,000 car loan when their annual income was $42,000. On paper, the numbers did not work. But on a computer screen, at a company desperate to hit acquisition targets, they got approved. Now those cars are coming back. Default rates on Carvana financed vehicles have spiked. We are talking about an 8 to 12% default rate on subprime financed vehicles, according to industry analysts who track Carvana's portfolio performance. Some cohorts are hitting 15% default rates. When a financed vehicle defaults, that car comes back to Carvana's lot as a repossession. Or Carvana sells the debt to a third-party servicer who recovers the vehicle and sells it at wholesale auction. Here is where the math breaks. A 2022 Ford F-150 that Carvana financed to a buyer for $31,400 with a 48-month term now comes back as a repossession after 12 months of payments. That buyer may have paid $7,500 in principal. The vehicle is now worth $22,100 at wholesale auction. Carvana is liable for the gap. They have to eat the loss. And those repossessed vehicles go through a specific channel. ADESA, the major wholesale auction platform owned by Car Global, has become Carvana's primary liquidation channel for defaulted inventory. A Carvana operations manager speaking anonymously to an automotive industry newsletter said they are pushing thousands of cars through ADESA every month now. They do not have time to recondition them or list them on their retail platform. The vehicles go straight to the block, and Carvana takes whatever the market gives them. That's not a retail operation anymore. That's asset liquidation. That's a company trying to stop a cash hemorrhage by offloading damaged loans at wholesale prices. A 2021 Honda CR-V that Carvana originally retailed for $22,800 gets financed to a subprime buyer. That buyer defaults after 18 months. The vehicle gets repossessed, and Carvana takes it to ADESA, where it sells for $15,200. Carvana absorbs the loss. Multiply that by tens of thousands of vehicles, and you understand why Carvana's margins have collapsed. The loan portfolio problem is intertwined with the inventory problem. Carvana financed too many cars to people who couldn't pay. Those cars are now coming back damaged from wear and tear during repossession, from customer abuse, and from deferred maintenance by struggling owners. Those damaged cars have to be liquidated at wholesale prices because there is no time to recondition them properly. The wholesale liquidations pile up. The inventory glut worsens. The prices for everyone get pressured downward. This is a vicious cycle, and Carvana is caught in the middle. They can't finance fewer customers because they need the origination volume. They can't hold defaulted vehicles longer because carrying costs destroy margins. So they liquidate fast at wholesale prices. The used car market gets flooded with those vehicles. Retail prices compress. Competition increases. Margins shrink further. A Reddit thread from a Carvana employee posted to the subreddit "Are Used Cars" contained this insight. "We know we're not going to make money on financing anymore. It's all about volume now. Push the cars out, take the loss on defaults, and hope the scale works somehow." That's not a sustainable business model. That's survival mode. The connection between Carvana's financing crisis and the inventory dump is direct. The cars being deeply discounted right now are often the cars Carvana needs to move because the financing losses are accelerating. They're desperate to clear space on their balance sheet. They're desperate to convert inventory to cash. And they're willing to take massive markdowns to do it. But that money had to go somewhere. That 27% inventory reduction? Carvana took that loss. That's billions of dollars in write-downs and lost margin. They're absorbing it by selling more volume at lower prices and hoping the scale adds up somewhere downstream. Here's where your leverage comes in. These 9 categories are in constant price flux right now. Carvana's algorithm is repricing inventory constantly, trying to find the exact price point where each car sells in under 30 days. But they're overshooting the mark regularly. Cars get repriced down multiple times a week, and some days they massively underprice vehicles just to hit their volume targets. Your job is to hunt for the mispricings, and there's a methodical way to do this that takes maybe 20 minutes a week. First, you need to understand Carvana's pricing psychology. They use an algorithm to determine starting price, but margin targets override the algorithm when inventory gets old. If a car is sitting beyond the threshold, it gets a price drop. If it hits a certain age on the lot, it gets a second drop. A third drop happens automatically. By the time a car hits 120 days on Carvana's inventory, they've often cut the price so aggressively that they're actually below fair market value just to clear it. Here is your checklist for finding those deals. Step 1. Visit Carvana and filter by one of those 9 categories. Step 2. Sort by listing age or days on lot if Carvana displays that metric. Step 3. Look for vehicles that have been listed for 60 days or more. Step 4. Cross-reference that car's price on Kelley Blue Book, NADA Guides, or Edmunds. If Carvana's price is more than 10% below fair market value for that vehicle, that is not a deal. That is a clearance. That is your signal. Step 5. Check the inspection history. Carvana publishes full detailed inspection reports for every car. Read the report. Look for cars with minor issues only. A 2021 Honda CR-V with worn tires and a small dent in the rear door is a cash register. Step 6. Check the warranty. Carvana offers different warranty tiers. The longer the warranty, the more confident they are about the car's actual condition. Cars with longer warranties cost more, and they are less likely to require expensive repairs immediately after purchase. Step 7. Do not buy the cheapest car in a category. Buy the car that has been discounted the most relative to similar vehicles in that category. That is the one Carvana is most desperate to move. The reality right now is that Carvana is in a race against time. They have quarterly earnings targets. The pressure to hit volume numbers is immense. That pressure gets translated into pricing decisions that sometimes work against their own financial interests. As a buyer, you benefit from that urgency. But this window is closing. Carvana's new leadership is tightening acquisition standards. They are buying fewer cars, and only cars they are confident they can move at target margin. The inventory fire hose will eventually slow to a drip. When that happens, prices will stabilize. Deals will disappear. The urgency will evaporate. Right now, in April 2025, you are living in the brief window where Carvana's pandemic overstock meets desperate volume targets. That window is closing, fast. In the span of just 2 weeks, I watched that 2021 Honda CR-V that Sarah was tracking get repriced from $24,900 down to $19,500. By the time she decided to buy it, it was back up to $22,100. She missed it. The window closed. But if you check Carvana's inventory today, right now, during this video, you will find vehicles that are underpriced. You will find cars that should cost $20,000 selling for $16,800. You will find SUVs that fair market value places at $28,000 sitting at $23,400. These are not anomalies. They are not errors. They are survival pricing. They are a company in a numerical race with itself. The 9 categories I have outlined are where that desperation is most visible. The 9 categories are your hunting ground. Your leverage exists right now, but it exists for another 4 to 8 weeks, maybe less. After that, when inventory normalizes, the deals dry up and pricing becomes more efficient. The game changes. Sarah walked away from that deal because she did not understand why the price was dropping. She thought there was something wrong with the car. There was not. The only thing wrong was Carvana's inventory targets. If she had bought it at $19,500, she would have made the smartest car purchase of her entire life. The next time you are browsing Carvana, remember these 9 categories. Remember the price dynamics that created them. Remember that every deep discount you see is Carvana screaming silently that they need that car gone. That is the moment to strike. That is the moment when you have all the leverage. That is the moment where a used car buyer can walk out the other side with a deal that rivals anything in the market. Banks are also getting smarter about timing. They are tracking seasonal market patterns. Spring and summer are high-demand seasons for used cars. Banks know they can liquidate a repossessed vehicle faster in March than in January, so they are releasing repossessed inventory in waves during peak demand windows to minimize holding periods and auction losses. A 2021 Ford Explorer repossessed in February might sit for 45 days before auction. That same vehicle repossessed in May hits the block within 14 days. The market timing is completely different, which means the price outcomes are completely different. This strategic timing by lenders creates windows of opportunity for buyers. When you understand the calendar, you understand when repossessed inventory is hitting the market. The 12 SUVs I outlined, from the Jeep Wrangler to the Honda CR-V, are all on identical timelines. They were financed in 2021 and 2022. They are going into default now in 2025. The wave is synchronized. Within the next 120 to 180 days, repossessed inventory from these models will absolutely flood auctions. Banks are struggling to manage that flow. They need to meter it carefully to avoid price collapses, but they are running out of time and storage space. A used car dealer in Ohio told me that they know what is coming. They can see the pipeline. In 90 days, these lots will be flooded with repos. They are already holding back on acquisitions. They are not buying the same vehicles because they know supply is about to get crushed. Dealers understand the dynamic. They are responding by tightening inventory. That tightening creates short-term price support. But once the repos hit, that support evaporates. The story started with a company that moved fast and bought big. It became a story about inventory management, margin pressure, and quarterly targets. But ultimately, it is a story about your leverage as a buyer. Carvana created the conditions for incredible deals to exist. The deals are real. They are happening right now. They are available. They are just not advertised. You have to see the numbers, understand the pressure, and strike at the moment when Carvana needs the sale more than they need the profit.